I think it's valid to say that most people don't really truly understand how they can heal themselves and the power that they have to do it. In today's episode, I'm going to show you exactly how you can be an active participant in your own healing. Welcome, ladies, to the Life Mastery for Women podcast. I'm Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind, your host. This is where we go to learn to master our life one nugget at a time. Hey, ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I am finding you healing yourself. If you're not healing yourself, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you just one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. I love talking about this topic because I love knowing what I know about energy work and the body and the chakras and ways that we can really become active proponents in our change and in our destiny and the things that we want to experience, as well as becoming healed from certain whatever ailments. We have heard and read about many miracles that have happened of people who have gotten terminal diseases and tumors and cancer and all these different diseases and ailments, and they have healed from them. You ever read the story about the miracle man who was in an accident and broke, it was like 50 bones in his body and was never going to walk again, and he walked out of the hospital? Have you ever heard of people who have had terminal illnesses or brain tumors and they were going to have surgery, a couple months later and had a 16% chance of living, and they, during that time before even having surgery, through mindful meditation and practice, they shrunk the tumor? There is a way to heal yourself. There is a way. It is sweeping the nation now. If you've not heard of Joe Dispenza, I recommend that you look him up. A lot of my education, I shouldn't say a lot, but my recent education has really been diving into the quantum field, neuroscience, and epigenetics. And it sounds like there's big fancy words, and don't let it overwhelm you, but it is a way to use our mind to elevate our being, elevate our human existence to a place of a higher vibration where that disease doesn't exist. If you look at the financial institutions of people, the finances of people like poor and poverty versus rich and famous, who's the healthier? Okay. Well, and then you say, well, it's because those people have more money to access, different, doctors and stuff. You're like, holistic healing is not covered by insurance, and certain insurances don't cover those things. I mean, you can hardly even get chiropractic care. Well, right. But think of the mindset of those people, of those two different classes of people. Where is more disease? It is more in the poverty. And we can say, well, it's because they don't have any money. And I say they don't have money and they have more disease because of their mindset, not because of they just don't have money. Their money mindset, their health mindset is in the tank. It is low on the vibrational scale. And when you are feeling depressed and anxious and angry and grief and sadness and vengefulness, if that's a word, or resentment, all of those are kinking the hose to life force energy flowing through you, that healing energy. You take somebody who has cancer, and if they're angry about it and they're pissed off and they hate their life and they hate everybody in it, they probably won't survive. But if you take somebody who has cancer and they go, I'm going to beat this, and I'm going to begin a practice, and I'm going to look at all of these things. I'm not saying it's 100% that they're going to heal from that. That might be their destiny. But I am saying that I have had friends who have survived from terminal illnesses because of changing and elevating their own state. That's the ticket, though, not just a meditation practice, but actually elevating their state, elevating out of that persona that has that disease. If I'm a 3 and I have this disease, I need to get my butt out of that 3 zone. I need to get up to an 8 and get away from. And you carry on, you become a new person. And in that becoming, you now aren't the person who has that disease, no matter what the disease is. I believe that all diseases can be cured by elevating your state, elevating your personal energy. And how do we do that? Well, you know what? There's that one word I'm going to say, and I'm going to say it every single time, is introspection. It's going inward. That is where your power lies. That is where your power lies. And speaking of where our power lies, let's go and get it. Let's bring our energy back. So taking a deep breath in, it feels so good just to become present. Even me, I get so excited recording my podcast and speaking with you. I appreciate you so much being here, sharing my stories and my journey with you. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for being here. Call in our energy back. All those mental tabs, all those problems, doubts, worries that are open, that are these little energy strands that are out there on all of the problems to be solved. Call all those back. Reel your energy in, calling it back, feeling into your heart space. Just breathing easy, giving yourself a gift. The gift of this present moment. And being right here, right now with my voice. Breathing in. Feeling your butt in the seat and your feet on the floor. And thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to enjoy this podcast. And I'm enjoying sharing my gifts and my techniques with you in hopes to help you on your journey. And I hope it does. I hope the things that I share with you help to resonate, to let you know that you are not alone on this planet, that you are here for a reason, you are here for a purpose. And as we keep growing and changing and expanding, that purpose is going to be continued to reveal itself to you. And allowing ourselves to connect to Mother Earth and to source energy and just allowing the flow to move through us. We're the hose. Our human existence is a hose, it's this conduit that allows life force energy to move down through us from source energy, giving us that guidance and those nudges and those inspirations, and move up through us from Mother Earth, giving us that support and that guidance and that unconditional love. And we have to unkink the hose. We have to allow that life force energy to move through us. And there's a lot of parts and pieces to the whole deal, but it's worth it. And healing your body is a part of that. Healing your body is a natural power tool that you have in your possession. And now it's time to learn how to do that. It's time to learn how to move through that process. And if you are suffering from an ailment, this is what I would tell you. I would tell you going inward and going into that ailment. You can see it or sense it or feel it. Go into it and make peace with it and ask it to heal. Visualize the tumor shrinking. Visualize the cancer leaving. Visualize the skin clearing up. Visualize the incision healing. It sounds like a song. Visualize your energy cleaning and clearing. Or sense it. If you can't visualize it, you can sense it. And it is in this state that your body begins to be aligned with what you're asking. I'm able to get rid of headaches in a very short period of time. I'm able to get rid of my back pain and move out of that space of fear. And I was able to heal my knees. I had some knee pain the other day that's been lasting for like 3 weeks. I'm like, oh, that's right. Let's go in and go do it, right? I was able to heal an incision I had back in early 2017 that I had abdominal surgery of a large tumor that was removed. And I was able to heal that incision. That's so much so at my 6-month checkup, she was like, wow. She's like, you look like you're at like 3 months. I can't believe it. Well, I was working on it. I'm laying in bed. What else am I going to do? Right? I might as well become part of the healing process. Instead of waiting for something outside of me to happen, I decided to become empowered in my own healing, and I decided to go in and do it myself. And I know it's possible. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've had my clients do it. I have worked with clients in their healing process. I have done it myself. I have worked with Amy. I have healed things that we were canceling plans because we were in pain, and we were able to heal it and continue on with our plans. And it's amazing when it happens. If you look at the process of when you get a paper cut, or you cut your finger, you skin your knee, or you do something, you bang your elbow, you get a bruise, you do something to prepare the environment, right? You do something to prepare the environment. You might even do something to prepare the body. Like maybe you have to get a cast, or you have to put ice on it, or you have to elevate it, or you have to get stitches, right? So that's preparing the body. The next two pieces for you are to elevate the mind and to engage with healing. So elevating the mind is getting the mind wrapped into, how do I help you heal? How do I help my body move to a place of harmony? And how do I get all the cells to work together for this healing process to take place? And then having that space of healing, we have to overcome those things and stop being angry that our body is thinking that our body is failing or that it's old age. It's not old age. It's stuck energy. It's that cesspool that I was just talking about in the last podcast. It's a cesspool that you're seeing, that's this stinking energy that is stuck in your body, and you're like, oh, yeah, I thought it was age. No, it is because you've been holding on to something for so long that it just becomes, when water first enters this cesspool, it doesn't look terrible, but it's when it sits there and sits there and sits there and it becomes stagnant, and then it becomes stinky. So our energy, it's just like one cigarette isn't going to kill you, but over time, right, it becomes a stuck energy in your body. And that stuck energy continues to build more and more pressure in the body, and we think it's age. It's not. It's time. It's how long you've had it there. So here's my how-to steps. So the first is to go in. The first is to go in and overcome the body. So make your body as comfortable as possible in whatever you have to do. So taking care of the body is part of our process as humans. Sometimes you have to take aspirin. Sometimes you have to go to the doctor. Sometimes you need stitches or ice, right? Sometimes you need to do that. So make your body as comfortable as possible. Make the environment, so the environment of the ailment, as comfortable as possible, right? Clean it, just like you get a paper cut. You clean it, you wash it, right? You dry it, you put some ointment on it, you put it in a Band-Aid, right? You take care of the body and by taking care of the environment. And then take care of your own environment, creating that space for you to get quiet, to go inward and become an active participant in the healing process. Waiting for something else outside of you to heal you, you're going to be waiting a long, long time, and that ailment could get worse, right? So going inward, when you go inward, is go to the site of the ailment. Go to where it's at and feel it, explore it, be curious. What is it? Where is it? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Why is it here? What is it telling me? What chakra is it attached to? What can I do to help this situation? What can I do to heal from this? What do I need to learn? What lesson is here? What do I need to learn in order to overcome this? And that, my friend, is the eye-opening. Those series of questions is going to help you to be elevated. Oh, I've got cancer because I'm holding on to all this anger from my childhood. I've got these shoulder issues or a torn rotator cuff because I'm carrying the burden of my family. Right? So when we start to learn more about ourselves, we get in the driver's seat of our life, and we get to expand from this space. We get to understand fully how to work with energy and how to heal our body. So once you go in and you start to hear these messages and this guidance, you might have to do it a couple of times. But my thought is it worth it? Is what you're doing working? And my thought is if what you were doing was working, then you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. You need something different. You need something more powerful. Going to all of the things that you go to heal your body probably do help to some degree, but you're the key component. You are the base foundation of the healing. How is your thinking around the healing? Are you going out to everybody you know and complaining about the ailment that you have incessantly? You've been dealing with it for a long time and you're continuing to incessantly talk about it? Well, you're keeping it there. You're keeping the hose kinked. You're not allowing life force energy to move through and heal. So let's change that. Let's have you be the proponent. Let's have you be the common denominator in your healing and go, okay, I need to heal from this. What do I need to know? What do I need to learn? What skill do I need? And how can I be advocate for my healing? How can I be in that role of healer, healing myself? So when we go in with curiosity. I'm curious to know why this has shown up in my life. And I'm curious to know any messages or any support or guidance I can get that's going to help me to feel better. And it doesn't matter if it's a headache or incessant back pain or something worse, diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, a tumor, there's a lesson there. There's something there for you to learn. The body can only handle, it's in its physical capacity, it can only handle so much stuck energy before it starts showing up physically. There were signs before. There were signs before that were showing you that something was a wrong choice, a wrong perspective, a wrong belief that was giving you the emotional state, oh, well, I'm just an angry person. No, actually, you're not. You have a belief that leads to that thinking, that leads to that behavior, that recirculates through the whole thing, that keeps saying, yeah, I guess I'm just an angry person. And you've identified with that, when instead it's just a belief. It's just a belief that you keep thinking that allows you to be an angry person. I have to respond in this way when my kids do this, my husband does this, my boss does this. I have to respond in that way. And that's not the truth. That's not your truth. And listen, if that anger, if it keeps circulating through your system, eventually your body's going to feel it. And you're going to call it old age. And I'm going to call it stuck energy. And I'm going to say, you know what? When we release that stuck energy, you're going to feel 10,000 times better. And guess what? You're not going to be angry anymore. Now you're a peaceful person. Now you're a calmer person. Now you're an empowered woman or brother, right? So when we go in there with curiosity, then I want you to have the intention to heal. Curiosity, to get the message, to get the nugget, to get the inspiration of what is it? Why is this here? What is it showing me? What skill do I need? What chakra is blocked? What can I do to alleviate myself from this ailment? And then the next in that curiosity is the communication of heal. And what I like to do is it's like picturing a baby animal that you're rescuing, and you want to heal it, and you bring it into your hands, into your space, and you have this compassion for this animal. I want you to have that same compassion for you and for this ailment. Like picturing that it's a baby or a kitten or a baby bird or a baby squirrel or a puppy or something that allows you to feel that emotion of care and compassion. I want you to have that for yourself. I used to tell, when I was a personal trainer, I used to tell my clients, you can't hate yourself into good health. You can't. You can't hate yourself to losing weight. You can't look in the mirror and say how ugly or how fat you are. That's not going to work. That kind of energy is going to keep you low. So you have to elevate your thinking towards yourself. And a way to do that is by adding care and compassion. So you bring in that disease and you go, okay, I'm listening. I'm ready. I'm curious what you have to tell me. And I love you and I want to heal from this. And then what I was doing, I did it with my back. I've done it with my headaches. This is what I did with my incision, one of my big surgery. And I just said, heal, heal, heal over and over again with care and compassion as the emotional state. So heal was the intention, and the emotional state was care and compassion. I love you, body. I love you, self. I want you to heal. I don't want to have fear of my back seizing up when I'm out running around with the dogs or the kids. I want to enjoy my life. And sometimes I want to carry a backpack. I want to ride my bike. I want to go rock climbing again, right? I want to climb anything. I love climbing everything. But I can't do that if I'm living a life of fear. So I cared enough about myself to begin this practice of healing my body, releasing stuck energy that no longer serves me. The things that you are experiencing are because of the thoughts that you have had. And you have thought those thoughts so many times that it created an emotional state. And you've had that emotional state for so long that it creates this behavior that keeps it in that emotional state. And we just keep recycling through that over and over again. This behavior that equals this emotion, that equals this thought, that becomes my life. And now I'm just a depressed person. I'm just an angry person. I'm just an anxious person. I go, no, you're not. We can change those beliefs, and we can change that energy and that structure that you are identifying with. And now you're anything other than that. Anything that you want to be. So many times I ask my groups and clients or people that tell me, they're like, I'm anxious, I'm depressed and whatever. And I said, okay, if you weren't anxious, what would you be? And I would say only about 50% of the people can answer that question. If you didn't have cancer, what would you have? If you didn't have a headache, what would you have? If you didn't have anxiety, what would you have? If you didn't have depression, what would you have? If you weren't an angry person, what kind of person would you be? And for a lot of people, the scariest thing is letting go of that identity. If I wasn't an angry person, I don't know who I would be. And I go, it's time to explore that a little bit. It's time to not fear that identity that's holding you there, that is creating a miserable life for yourself. It's time to identify with something newer and better and more elevated. And that's the game. So go into the body with curiosity and go into calming the mind and the body and the environment and overcoming. And that's the practice. And you go in there with curiosity and care and compassion. You go, I love you. And I want you to heal from this. I want to know what it's like to be on the other side of anger or depression or anxiety. I want to know what it's like to be on the other side of disease. I know everything on this planet can be cured. And I want you to practice that. I want you to have that same belief. I want you to have a life worth living. I want you to have a life of excellence and empowerment and peace and joy and love and friendship and exhilaration. That's how life is supposed to be explored. You face a challenge and you overcome that challenge. And then you have some sort of an ailment and you heal from that ailment. You are in the driver's seat. And I hope that that's where you're sitting. I hope that you're listening to my podcasts and episodes, or you know me at all, or you've been a part of my groups. You know that it's like, it is about empowerment. It is about getting behind the controls and going, okay, here's life. Here's these challenges. Here's these ailments. Here's this stuff. What do I do? What are my skills, right? You know, when it's raining outside, you get your umbrella and you get a raincoat, right? When it starts snowing, if you're lucky enough to live in a place that has snow, if it's snowing, you drive slower. You wear boots. You get your hat and gloves, right? You do the thing necessary to overcome that challenge. Well, when it comes to our physical body, that's no different. You know, you do the same things. You overcome the body, you know, you get the body in comfort and you overcome the environment, and then you go inward and you heal rather than going outward and looking for healing. And I know so many people who are on, you know, anti-anxiety or anti-depression medication, and I constantly hear that they're changing medication because it's not working anymore and they're upping the dose and I'm going to go see a different doctor. I'm like, dude, that's bullshit. Go inward. Depression is just an emotion. It's just an emotional state. Stop identifying with it. And people, I will challenge any single person that stands in front of me and says, Jen, you actually can't. And I go, yeah, you actually can. You can, because I understand energy. For the very first time in my life, the image is crystal clear. You can if you want to. I can't make you want to, but I will tell you, you can. And I will challenge you. If you are feeling an emotional ailment or a physical ailment, please love yourself enough to begin this practice. Love yourself enough to go, you know what? Screw that depression. I'm going to go in there, like Jen says, and I'm going to begin this practice because I'm sick of living this way. And I want to live a great way. I want to live to the fullest. And I can't do that if I'm depressed all the time. And if she's right, then what do I've got to lose? Right? And I'm telling you, not because I'm saying I'm right, but I'm telling you, I've explored with it. It's 100% success. I love it. It's exciting. And I want you to have that same success. So give it a try. If you need some support, send me an email, write me in the subject line, let's talk, and let's talk. And I'm love to have a conversation with you to find out how I can best support you. Wow, that may have felt like a lot of information in today's episode, but if you're looking for support and a deeper knowledge of what we talked about today, then let's connect. You can learn more about how I work and how you can work with me. Send me an email to the meditationroomtc@gmail.com, subject line, let's talk. And in the meantime, you can join my online Facebook community, Lady Rising, and mention that you came in through the podcast. I look forward to supporting you and connecting with you there.